sound like I was smacking ass. Welcome everybody.
And of course.
Okay.
Keep going.
Welcome to the Skull Hunter Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor and a car from outside Charles's house. Hey, join us today. We have Charles and we have Joseph. Everybody. That was a start. What's up, fuckers?
Not much.
Joseph, how are things going in the Canada, Germany? Where are you at? I'm not even being funny. I lost about 5 brain cells as soon
I'd
as
love
I
to
heard
know
that
so
car.
much about that thought process there. I was like, what do we know about Joseph? And how do we associate that with Germany? And that's okay. Never mind. I'm just moving right along. So yeah, it's been. I promised myself I wouldn't like adjust in my seat at least for the first 5 minutes. Broken promise. So yeah, man. I guess I'm happy to say I ain't got a heck of a lot going on. Just steadying out, trying to stay busy. I'm slowly starting to like come up with more elaborate TikToks. I'm in the middle of editing one right now. I'll release it like after we're done recording this because I just gotta finish the rendering of it. And there's some TikTok ideas that are swimming around in my head that are like, this is gonna take craft services for some of these ideas. But I'm happy to say, like for somebody who could not stand the platform at first, to, like, okay, it's like the stages of death, I guess. It's like a denial and anger, bargaining. So I'm at acceptance, and I suppose that there's a stage after acceptance, which is enthusiasm.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. You're not like going, ooh, I hate this platform I'm not using. Now you're kind of just like, I'll make a TikTok. I think this one's gonna go. I'll make a TikTok.
It's hard not to hate something that's programmed to show us the exact content that we like, on like infinitely.
Yep.
And to provide people with a dopamine hit like every 10 seconds. It's hard not to like that.
Yeah, no, I get that, because I mean, especially now, TikTok used to be when it was first downloadable, like you would log in and immediately just start showing you the renegade. They're gonna show some guy twerking, or woman, I don't know, and they're gonna start showing you that stuff, underage women in provocative clothing, and it's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And now it's gotten so much better, and it actually understands what the viewer want to see, especially after the first little while. I know, for an example, someone was making a TikTok, and they were like, what I hate every time I go on TikTok, I just see half-naked women or women licking the microphone. And the guy responds back with, TikTok is an algorithm-based platform that shows you what you watch heavily on TikTok. So if it's showing you these women who are licking a microphone, it's because you're spending time watching a woman lick a microphone. They're like, that is what it is. And if you're just going on there to report them or call them, whatever you're going to do, you can hold down the screen, hit not interested, bam. No more. I did that with a few ASMR people. I hate ASMR besides like sand. If it's like sand ASMR to like clean something, so I'm like, oh. But if it's like, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to learn how to make an eggs Benedict here. Why are these people? Like I like ASMR as a support thing where like you're watching somebody like hyper edit cook. And they drop the bread on the wooden board. Okay, this sounds pretty neat.
They drop the bread.
I should be doing ASMR. Like I got the sound. I should be fucking doing this. Another thing I noticed too is that like I almost feel like there's a little bit of like an RPG element to TikTok where like over time, the watch habits start to add up, the likes add up, the follows add up, and so I'm getting more dense information. I'm getting stuff that's not just like kind of what I like, but actually much more closely aligned with what I like. And so I'm seeing like my own growth and my own week to week progress based off like, oh, this has been a heavy food week. Yeah, I am feeling kind of creative this week. And then the reason why I did that Kill a Man video was because I got so fucking frustrated at how many people have their TikTok accounts being like, you could be me right now. In a matter of 6 weeks, you could be making this much money. And like, no, it takes way longer than that, okay?
Yep. Especially because anytime you ever, like, not suffer with money or whatever, but, like, you get in a point where you're like, damn, I really want to look at other ways to make money. Then you get the ads. They're constantly like, do you want to be like Robert over here? Robert's been blowing women for 5 months. I don't know why it would that or go with it.
I think that you can.
If you sign
Like
this,
you can, so,
yeah, you
know.
you can. It's like inflating a balloon that just doesn't go anywhere. But, you know... You want to laugh. You're holding it back. You're holding it back. But yeah, with seeing those ads constantly, you're just like, it doesn't work that fast. It doesn't work that fast. That was too clean. That was too clean. I don't know. For audio listeners, he did the whole mime thing where like you put your hand in front of your face, but you do it at such a smooth motion to where it's like happy, and then you like put your hand over, go down, it's just like normal, and he did it so smoothly.
It's called when a person laughs and they don't intend to. It's called corpsing in show business. So sometimes I do that. I'll just corpse. I don't know. Like there's a lot of like macabre terms in show business and especially in comedy. Like somebody does well, they killed it. If they are analyzing a show afterwards, they call it a postmortem. I just, yeah. Actually, you know, of all of the things that people have suggested. From these like side hustle TikToks, I'm gonna give a shout out to. It's called Play Test Cloud, and anybody can sign up for it. And it allows you to test mobile games on your phone. And some of them they'll just ask you to play for like 15, 20 minutes, and they'll send you $10, and you get to play a game, talk out loud. And I'm like subtly trying to give hints that they should just hire me because I'm like, well, actually, if you realign this wing so that it runs more on a pixel based grid as opposed to the vertex thing that you have now, just like, that guy is kind of good.
No, one thing I learned, I learned this is you can't hint around the people about that. You just need to fucking ask them, like DM them whatever you gotta do, and just be like,
there's a binding contract.
Well, you know. Contracts are made to be broken. Well, that's not true.
I spent a long time like unsuccessfully dating, and the thing that I learned is that you never actually be direct with people.
You know, I kind of skipped past the dating thing. I had 2 girlfriends in my life, and the one was something, and then I got my current one, and she's like great, but there's not that like hoop jumping. If I was honest about something, I'll tell you like flat out. If I like, oh. Yeah, you look all right. I would say it. Now, the looks I got back were not great, but honesty's the best policy. Just don't be.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And by the way, I'm calling girls and guys out on this too. And it's not one side's fault. It's definitely Gen Z's fault, but it's.
Whoa! I take offense. Wait, do I take offense? Yeah, I take offense to that. I don't know how. I take offense to it.
I know. I just remember like back to like when I was like attempting dating, and I made this mistake where I contacted the person, and then she calls her friend. Like, why is this guy talking to me? And he calls my friend, and he calls me and says, I love you, bro, but you got to dial it back. I thought, this is interesting. It's actually gotten to the point now where girls are putting themselves on pedestals. Huh.
Huh. I also love how instead of being direct to you, they made the circle. Sally talked to Bobby. Bobby talked to Jimmy. Jimmy talked to you, and it's like.
And here's the kicker, by the way, is that this person initially wanted to meet me. It's like, why is this person I took an interest in, met for a day, got along with? Why is he contacting me? Anyways, so that's been my week.
Cool, Charles. How have your week been? What you been up to?
Not much. Doing stuff at work, and my girlfriend still had to get a Wi-Fi router from T-Mobile so we'd have internet because my mom let our Wi-Fi get shut off because even though we were helping her pay for it and everything, she still didn't want to pay the bill and whatever. So I've been having to deal with that. And the other night I figured out that I have to have the thing this thing works better whenever I have it wired with an Ethernet cable to my Xbox and everything. It seems like even I'm using my laptop, it works better now than it was before when it was wireless. But everything. And I beat the Elite Four, and I got pretty far in Pokemon Sun the other day, like a few days ago on my 3DS.
Nice, nice. A little gentleman's clap. Good job, good job.
If you ever played Pokemon Sun, you freaking Primarina is the best freaking one of the three final evolutions out of the starters in that game, because she freaking wiped the floor with with the Elite Four's Pokemon and most of the professor's Pokemon. But that fucking Snorlax though. I also finally got a game that I've been wanting to get for a while, that I just haven't been able to because I got it on sale from GameStop when my girlfriend went on a date. Second hand to grab it.
This man, by the way, has been on more dates than I have, and I have been in a relationship for 5 years. we got past 6 dates, and then after that, we just said, "Fuck it, we'll just do our own thing." Crash Bandicoot, didn't you get that last week? No, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Oh, okay, cool, nice. Crash Bandicoot.
Now I wish I freaking bring Wrath the Cortex, where you fight the masks, including one of which is voiced by the Gunnery Sergeant from that one movie, and the other is voiced by the dude who is the Joker, Mark Hamill. I wish I'd bring that game back, and then I'd be happy, because that was my favorite Crash Bandicoot game, besides Crash 3.
I don't know how I feel about a man going, "You want to know how I got these scars?" in a...
That's Heath Ledger. Unless I guess you're just talking about Joker in general.
I literally have not seen a Batman movie. I do not like DC movies. I love their shows, but not their movies.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from. However, the Dark Knight trilogy is technically a DC movie in the same way that Watchmen is technically a DC comic book. Graphic novel converted into a movie, same point.
Okay.
However, Christopher Nolan is regarded as one of the best filmmakers that we have. He comes up with great ideas for movies that are, intellectual and deep, but they're also accessible to the, a mainstream audience. So he really has a perfect balance of both, like Inception, Dunkirk, Interstellar. So his take on Batman is not like you wouldn't be like, oh, I wonder, hey, this is a great trilogy. I wonder if one of the major comic labels will pick him up. Like, it's gonna just like recalibrate your view on Batman.
Okay, I'll look into that. But Charles, as you were saying,
I liked playing Crash Bandicoot Warped again, but I was also reminded of why I freaking raged at that game at times, because literally the mission right before you face the boss of that first area that you unlock, first one that's unlocked at the start when you start playing Crash Bandicoot Warped. Literally that mission, I swear it freaking was designed to kill you like a million times so you don't have a lot of lives going into face Tiny. I had 11 lives the first time I went through it, and the first time I had to go through that level, I kept dying repeatedly for stupid shit. Like I would clear a jump, I would somehow end up touching lava when I'm pretty sure I should have cleared it. Other times I was just getting killed by stupid shit. And it's just like, seriously?
I think that was a big fun experience in the good old days of the games. It's like Mario and all that. You try to save all your lives, and there's always that one level right before, not even the end, but like right before something big happens that they try to make you lose them all. And it's so you have to put more game hours into the game to have those experiences, but I definitely understand why, like, that made you kind of be like, oh yeah, this is why I hated this game. Like, if a new game right now did that to me, I would just uninstall. Like, I mean, that's what I would do. If a new game did that to me now, I'd be like, oh, cool, you want to do this to me? Uninstall, never touch it again. It's like, purpose? Don't see one. But yeah, that's definitely good. Got some Bandicoot in. Yeah, no, that's all good. I will say, I did end up actually going and exploring the world a little bit. Me and Brittany went to a park. We had to call 911 for her, because she swallowed a bee and she's highly allergic. So we had to call 911, get all that taken care. I know, randomness, right? Yeah, we got to explore some really beautiful places there. There was like we went to a dam, and it was so freaking beautiful. We spent a good 30 minutes just walking around this dam, and then we're like, oh man, that's great and all that stuff. And then we're like, yeah, we're gonna do it again. So every week now we're trying to like go out and explore a new location. And this next upcoming week, I immediately went, okay, I love the idea of this. Let's explore this new park. Wear a mask so you don't swallow anything else involuntarily. She's like, no, we don't need it. I was like, if you're highly allergic, maybe.
I feel for her that she has this, what most people would consider to be an irrational fear, but for her it's quite rational. The fear of accidentally swallowing a bee. My most irrational fear is that every time I walk under one of those metal signs, whether it's like a street sign or like a stop sign or something, that it's just going to detach and just embed itself into my skull.
So, fun experience with that. So a tree was falling today, and I was driving through my town.
Were you around to hear it?
Yes, a lot of people are around to hear it. It did make a noise.
Oh, it made a sound. Okay.
It's official. It made a noise.
Okay.
So they were trying to cut down these trees and stuff so they don't hurt anyone during tornado season that is coming up here in Kansas. And so they're cutting it down, and it's literally leaning over the road. Maybe another car, like a nice pickup truck, above my current car, and I'm like, cool. Why do I trust this? It is a little strap holding it there. I'm like, why do I trust this one strap holding this mother together? Why am I trusting this one strap holding this tree up? I trusted it though. I did a whole trust fall thing with it. I say that I went 45 and a 20. I was not taking the risks. Yes, officers, please come after me.
I also just wanted to address the casual. We're just cutting these things down because tornado season. It gets not to blow hot air or anything like that, but things get really screwed up in there that tornado season. It's just one of the most like. It's like a mid-tier weapon that nature has in its arsenal, and in some parts of the world, they're just like,
But it's like we live
is what it is.
We live in what's called Tornado Valley, so tornadoes can literally happen any time of the year. But it's highly common in this one stretch of Kansas, but we don't actually get hit with too many tornadoes. We get hit with the massive winds and the breeze and stuff like that. So if it's heavy wind, they don't want a tree falling down, so they cut it before it has a chance to really get too tall and damage the schoolyards and things like that. So it makes sense. But my week have just been like a roller coaster of emotions and pain and injuries to myself. I officially cannot use my right arm more than just moving the mouse around today. I streamed a little bit, and that hurt like a motherfucker. I was supposed to stream until like 4 o'clock today, and I went, oh no. For the first hour, I was like, oh, this sucks. And then the next hour, I went, this is unbearable. Let me go get my brace. And then the next hour, I went, okay, cool, I'm done. I went, sorry, chat, I'm out. And I messed it up, and I don't know how, but I ended up messing it up. I've been working out a lot, and I think I just pulled something. And just haven't let it recover in time. So I think I've just been overdoing my stuff, but also like the stress of my bodies and everything else. Like my body, it does add up and stuff. But yeah, I've just been exploring. Unfortunately, everyone around me is either getting sick or diagnosed with something terrible. So Brittany had to call 911 because she got stung in the throat by a bee. After she swallowed it. So, unfortunately, terrifying experience because
I feel for her. It's just the absurdity of it.
I know, like, how do I tell people that? Like, the love of my life died because she swallowed a bee. But, and of course, the whole Amber Heard situation. What?
She tried to punch a bee with the back of her throat.
You know what? No, she didn't. She just started gagging on the ground. And of course, how does that look? We're in the middle of the woods on a walking trail. People walk by. She's just walking and go, and starts like on the ground, heaving, losing her breath and everything else. I'm over her, seeing people walking right towards me. I'm like, I don't know how serious this is yet. Do I act it out being like, come on, in the van, or do I sit there and go, help, call 911? And it's just like, I just sung my B and I went, okay, cool, that's fine, you'll be fine. She's like, I'm allergic. I'm like, bet. I was like, cool, okay. And then Christy, a member of our team, she was on one of the first few episodes of the podcast. She got COVID. She was recovered fine from it. Chad, also previously on the podcast, he just got diagnosed literally a few hours ago. Said he has COVID. One of my good friends in Canada just told me that their mom has breast cancer. And I'm like, fuck.
Already hear that.
And then Alex, also known as Technoblade, just passed away due to cancer. And I'm like, holy fuck! What is up with this month? It just started. We had shootings. Everyone's getting sick. Everyone's fucking dying. Stop! It's like everyone just like keeps collapsing around me. I'm like, stop! Stay on a path. Stay on the steady path. Not to death. But yeah, just check your temperature, guys. Check your temperatures. Go up the ass. Do what you gotta do. Check that booty temp. Because who knows? You might get COVID. Catch it early. Start eating your vitamin C, or eat that D. I waited so long to say that joke. I just never had a good time because I was leading up to eating the D.
You know what? This was a good time because vitamin D is also quite pivotal in the fight against COVID.
Yep.
Because you get vitamin D from going outside. And what does the government telling us not to do at the time? Oh, go outside.
Go outside. Yeah, no, it's shady. Definitely a little bit of shade. But I also bring up the Technoblade side, even though I didn't know him personally. One thing Minecraft ended up doing, Microsoft, in his honor, they added in a Technoblade quote. Technoblade would always say in his videos, Technoblade never dies, because it's just his thing. And so Minecraft added, whenever you log into it, it will have random quotes. They added in that quote in there for him. That's super nice. And then what they ended up doing, the main pig on the front of Minecraft, they added in Technoblade's crown on the pig because his skin was a pig. I thought that was really cool. They did not have to do that. It's a $1 million company. They don't have to do nothing. They didn't have to make a post. They didn't have to announce anything. They went out of their way to do that very quick. Like, they acted upon this really fast. They didn't do it for clout. They didn't do anything else. I guess in a way they're doing it for the clout side, but you don't feel that with this. Like, you actually feel like they didn't make a skin everyone could buy or nothing like that. They said, this is what we're gonna do. Let's do something for him.
It's fine to get good feedback about it, to get good clout about it. It's just the whole clout chasing thing.
Yeah,
is where things went wrong, because now people stopped doing things for the value of doing them. They started doing things for the clout and not the value of the act itself.
Exactly, and I know it's hard to see with bigger companies because, I mean, let's be honest, the more people... It's like the first few years of, like, the whole, oh, yeah, put the pride flag on your Facebook photo, little border so people know that you're okay with the pride. And it's like, that's cool. But when these $1 million companies are doing it and they don't actually do anything else, they just go, yeah, put that up, and then just do nothing else. It's like, are you really supporting it? No, you're doing it.
Before somebody gets to like change their profile or do anything along those lines, they should be prompted with a question. So, what was the origin of the Pride movement?
I don't know.
Well, it was a lot more serious than the parties that they're having now. It was because police were raiding, were raiding them. They were fighting for basically survival at the time.
See, I don't try to, I don't look at that's history I should honestly know, and I apologize that I don't
have the full story, but at least I know that the origins of it were based off them.
But I did.
I'm dealing with a much more serious matter than it is now. It didn't start with the parade and the water guns and the naked people.
Yeah, I mean, but I do take apology if you are a part of the LGBTQ plus community. I'm sorry, I'll actually catch up and learn the full reasons behind it. But I'm not putting on a picture so I sell more copies of a game or
Yeah.
I'm selling more products. It's
See, I wasn't
support
trying to call you out.
No, 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 no. You're
figured
good.
you knew.
You're good. I
Like,
just didn't know.
I thought you knew. Yeah, no, you're good too.
all good.
Well, and I think a lot of people have came to that same realization as well, is that they feel like that the event has gone away from them. And but in the same vein, I despise Valentine's Day, but I still get a gift every year. So even if I hate something, it's like, okay, it's social contract. I'm just gonna do it.
Social contract, the one that's you can't sign, it's you just do. Yeah, no, I get that. Maybe I'm gonna start sending you Valentine's Day shit.
Do it.
I'm just every month I'm gonna send him something Valentine's Day related. I'm gonna pay the $20 in shipping. Just to
Yeah,
send him
that should be
something.
like a subscribe box thing where every month you get gifts relative like that are relevant for. So you got Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's, Christmas, Easter, Halloween. Every 2
Only
months,
issue
something.
with a lot of that is like a lot of those are religious based holidays, and some people don't celebrate one, and then other people celebrate another, or some people don't fucking know. Like Canada Day, no one knows what that is besides the people who live in Canada or has relations to it.
Yeah,
I had no
eating
idea what
catches
was
NASCAR
happening.
half
I
the
just
time.
know a lot of Canadians. I was like, oh shit, that's a day? Cool. Congrats. Cheers. That's all I knew. And they're like, yeah, it's your like there's also a Mexico version, not Mexico, a Spanish version of it. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a couple weeks before the Independence Day.
Chico de Mayo.
Yeah. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
People.
it's a little overshadowed by Star Wars Day. May the
Are
5th
you
be
for
with
real?
you. No, sorry. No, Chico de Mayo. Yeah, I got it wrong. I got it backwards. May the 4th be with you.
Oh,
And then
okay.
Chico de Mayo is, yeah.
Okay. That I get that. I get that. Okay. Well, I didn't know this, but that's why I do love streaming. I do love like getting on like podcasts and stuff like that. As I learn and I get to meet new people and they teach me something new. Like Cinco de Mayo, I had no idea that was even a thing. One of my chat people was like, "Hey, this is what's happening this weekend where I'm at." I'm like, hell yeah, what is that? And how old are you? I'm like, how old are you? And what is that? I need to make sure before I go answering any questions. But they're like, yeah, it's pretty much your version of Independence Day, except it's here. And I'm like, oh, cool. Independence Day, we don't celebrate the way it should be celebrated, but okay, yeah, cool. So yeah, it is what it is. But speaking of some people who have some independence, we got a juicy topic. Joseph, take us away.
We have covered this in the past that Elon Musk has announced that he wanted, this is the previous story, Elon Musk announced that he wanted to buy Twitter for, what was it, $44 billion?
Cool.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to avoid this story. I'm sure many people have at least caught wind of what's going on, but it looks like instead of buying Twitter, that Elon and Twitter might be going to court. Now, I forgot who we were dealing with. When I was like priming you guys at the beginning, before we started recording, I was telling you guys, I saw a meme, but I don't remember where I saw it from, where they were saying that Twitter had to give me the bot info. They're not going to do it. But now that I backed out of the deal, now they have to show it in court. And I was, oh man, if only I can remember where the source of that meme was from. Well, from Elon Musk directly. That's where the meme was from.
Oh my god.
Frame one, of course it was him. I so underestimated him.
He's the king
So
of
frame
memes.
one, they said I couldn't buy Twitter. Frame two, then they wouldn't disclose bot info. Frame three, now they want to force me to buy Twitter in court. Frame four, now they have to disclose bot info in court. So what's the broad problem? Well, there was another image, and I don't know if this is also an Elon Musk one, but what you'll find is I guess a collage of Twitter responses of up to 9 to 12 people per collage, and they're all saying the exact same thing. Like, oh, I just got out of the hospital. Thank you so much for the doctors and nurses for all your brave efforts. Please get vaccinated. Now, whatever your take on that position is, I don't give a shit. At least, for this conversation. But the point is that every last one of them basically copied and pasted the message over. So, you're either dealing with bots, NPCs, or a minimum of 12 people who all thought the exact same thing and wrote it the exact same way.
Yep.
Okay. All possible, but I don't know about that. So this is one of the interesting theories about this is one of the things that we alluded to in our our potluck at the beginning of this episode, our potluck of subjects, is that being direct should seem like the right thing to do, and it typically is the right thing to do, but sometimes being indirect is actually more beneficial. This is chess. This is about game theory. This is about anticipating what your opponent is going to do and making moves in advance. So one of the theories is that Elon Musk knew that Twitter wasn't going to hand over the bot info, knew that this deal wasn't going to go down, knew that it was going to go to court, and now Twitter is forced to give the information over. Then basically Twitter has been screwed the whole time ever since Elon wanted to buy Twitter. And now it's fun to think about, but the tricky thing is, there's only the ability to examine what we see in front of us and finding what supports that theory. So he would have to outright say, oh yes, this was the plan all along, which I don't anticipate until about 2024. So I don't think we're going to find that out yet.
Now, he's super smart. I think it is possible he thought about this. I think that it wasn't his full plan all along. Because obviously he knew the bot thing existed. He knew it existed because he flat out asked for it. Every article you find literally says he hit them up saying, hey, let me see this. And they said no. But so I don't think he planned it to happen exactly like this. I think this was a fallback plan. I think Elon wanted to make it stated, hey, here are the bots. This is what's happening. We're cutting that out. We're stopping this. And I think that's why he wanted to see it. He wanted to know what he's about to get into. He wanted to know how he could deal with it. And he was like, as a backup, we're going to finger blast the crap out of them because they're not going to get away with it. And so I think it was both. I think he knew what could happen, but I think it was his backup plan for what actually ended up happening. That is now what is currently happening. Now they're going to go to court, and it's going to have to be public information instead of just giving Elon it privately.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think his goal was to take it to court. I think his goal was to just buy it. Mm-hmm. But here we are. Now he's potentially going to court, and I kind of want this to happen, frankly, because I kind of want to see. It's not that I want to see Twitter suffer. It's just I want to see the people who've been running Twitter suffer.
Yep.
Because Twitter, I don't mind partisan bias. What I do mind is when it pretends to be neutral, and it uses that veneer of neutrality to move forward on whatever idea or issue or narrative that they want to support. So because Twitter pretends to be neutral, but is actually very much left-leaning, I want to see him suffer for it. And on that same subject, here's the results for Elon Musk on Bing, which again, I don't know why in the hell I was on Bing. So NBC News, conservative influencers still backing Elon Musk after Twitter deal implosion. New York Times, how Elon Musk damaged Twitter and left it worse off. Daily Mail, Elon Musk is legally wrong in backing out a $44 billion Twitter takeover. CNBC host says Elon Musk could end up in jail after telling Twitter he was backing out of the deal. That was a Fox News post, but they're Fox News talking about CNBC. Mm-hmm. Twitter shares fall as Elon Musk backs out of deal. Yahoo News. Twitter calls Elon Musk attempt to back out of his takeover deal invalid and wrongful. Yahoo, and it just goes on. Donald Trump lashes out at Elon Musk at rally, calls him a bullshit artist. Global News, that's one we have here in Canada, and it just goes on and on and on. And this is why we need somebody like Elon Musk to step in and do something, because again, if you just want to outright say that we're a left-leaning outlet, which a lot of these do, then okay, yeah, it's fine. you have your views, but to pretend that you're not is it's far more deceitful than anything that Elon Musk has done in regards to this.
I agree, and this is the thing is everyone's of course trying to get their clout. Like we're using it as a title and thumbnail, so I mean we're even trying to get our clout from it. But everyone's using it. But Elon obviously wanted to buy Twitter. He was ready to buy Twitter. He asked for information that he was gonna get anyways, and they said no. If I am about to buy to where it's in public media, everyone knows about it. If I'm about to buy something for over $50 billion, it probably wasn't, it was less, but still, I want to know everything I'm buying, not sit there and be told, but you can't see that. Why can't I see that? Well, you just can't. You can only see it when you buy it. That's shady as shit. And then the fact that they're saying he needs to buy it now. That's even shadier. Like if you sit there and tell someone, "Hey, you want to buy this candy bar?" "Yeah, what's in it?" "We can't tell you." "No, I don't want to buy it, but now you have to." That's so shady. You can't do that as a public figure. And you can't do that as a public media source. You are going to get on fire so hard you can't do that.
Yep, and this is why it goes back to game theory and 4D chess or whatever you want to call it, because what's the term that people use? The process is the punishment. Just this whole attempt from the announcement of Twitter, the announcement of buying Twitter till now, look at how much salvo has been launched against Twitter. Yep. The fact that there's people who probably didn't even realize that there were bots on the platform to begin with. And they thought everybody on there was a genuine person. And nope, there's definitely bots. Now it's a matter of degrees. Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Is it 50%? Is it enough to influence people that the more popular a particular idea is, the more likely people are going to glom onto that idea? And if so, what ideas are they trying to influence? How might that affect elections? This all ties in. So this is a crazy time to be alive and to observe this. My final thought is this whole thing. We're talking about $44 billion. My brain just like shuts off at a certain point because I'm not going to attempt to quantify the kind of things that I would do if I had $44 billion. I would be happy for like a decimal zero fraction of that, 0.01 fraction of that, or whatever. Yeah. See, there's my mind attempting to shut down mind. More important things to deal with. But this whole thing cannot exist in a vacuum. It's not a internal affair between Elon and Twitter. Its implications are, what could Twitter's dishonesty have done in the past? What effect could it have had? Could it have affected the outcome of elections? Could it have, not just presidential, obviously that's what we're all thinking about, but also state and local elections? Yep. Could it have affected a Supreme Court decision if there's a ton of public pressure and that public pressure is then disseminated out into real life where it's affecting people's decisions? Can it affect people who might not know better in other countries as well? This is an exceedingly dangerous operation going on here because of how much influence it's having over people. So whatever is the outcome of this, we can't just pay attention to what's going on between Elon versus Twitter. We have to pay attention to when are these news revelations going to happen, and how will they affect everything in relation to it?
Yeah, and
it's a spider web.
It's a massive spider web. And with that being your final conclusion, or your final thoughts on it, I don't think it is after what I'm gonna say. So we go through this, like, this has been a thing for so long, even with local elections to state elections to presidency. We literally, the cables, channels, everything else puts their 2 cents and leans aside. I say this because even now, if you are on Paramount, you will see elections. If you live in Kansas, you will see 2 elections going on, and the one focus on the guy being a dick. He's just a dick. No positive ad was ever shown to me. You know what positive ad was shown to me? The other party, only positive side. She's cutting taxes. She's doing this. She's doing this. Where's the negative one on her? Where's the positive side of him? Why do I have to now physically search up these whole situations just to get a simple who do I want to vote for? They make it so hard, but if you have bots and stuff that can, because Twitter allows to listen to you, it allows to track your location. They already know where you're gonna be, because if you turn on your location, that's the only way you can put in an address of where you're at. You cannot add it in like normal before. Instagram is losing this feature as well, but now you have to actually turn on the GPS on Twitter so you can tag the location you're at. So they can now see, oh, you're in Texas. What's going to be better for, in the sense, us or the person paying us the most? Let's use the bot accounts. Make this spread out. Only focus on these negative features to persuade votes. I mean, the power of media is so incredible to begin with. The power of influence is so incredible. And when you have, like Joseph mentioned, you have the percentages. What are those percentages now? If it was low numbers, they probably wouldn't have cared. They wouldn't have thought, here, take it. If it's more than 7%, we have problems. If it is more than 7%, we have big issues. I cannot wait for this to unfold. I want to see everything that happens, and even for the next person who tries to buy Twitter, I want to see everything that happens, because you know what, Elon Musk, let's say they don't go to court. Let's say everything gets settled, and they just both walk away. And Elon's like, nah. Guess what? Someone else is going to sit there going, okay, let me do it. Go down Elon Musk's rabbit hole and bring them to court. Someone's gonna do it. Whoever does it, though, I'm gonna be watching this like the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's trial. A ton of friends I have was watching that. I went, I'm not gonna watch this. And then of course TikTok happened, and I got stung by a bee. So of course, like, I got trapped in with that, but it's gonna be the same situation. I'm gonna be the guy watching the trial happen every night. Local news, baby. I'll be on it. Watch Twitter sit there and persuade me not to watch it. Twitter never shows anything about it. You post something, it's just blacklisted. It's like, that would be shady as shit. But I mean, it could happen. But any final thoughts about Elon Musk versus Twitter?
Okay, so I wanted to do a little bit of research here. So according to backlinko.com, Twitter has 396.5, screw you decimals, 396 million users. Now, I actually am so bad at math, I don't even know how to write that down. So 3,906, yes, I'm cutting this out, by the way.
Can I say something while he's doing that?
Yeah, go ahead.
All I have to say is that this is why they should have had this thing inked in paper and everything, so he couldn't back out.
Contracts, documentation. I agree.
Because once you have that legal document and everything, and it's signed and notarized or whatever it is, they can't back out unless because then they be facing some really fucking serious legal shit.
I agree, and now it's looking like that Elon Musk made the right decision and did not sign any contracts, or Twitter messed up and did not give him a contract to sign. But for Twitter's end, they should have had a contract, should have made him sign it.
I agree, but again, because I'm rooting for the people who have ruined Twitter to have this bite them in the ass. Because I like Twitter. I've always liked it. Although I liked it a hell of a lot less when they increased the character limit, but I've said that 6 times in the show so far in total.
Hey,
so I'm just going to move right along.
It's not here yet, so you're good.
I mean, not on this episode. I just mean accumulatively. So here we go. Sorry, I just want to make sure I get to this. So what is 5% of 3,960,000 is 198,000. 198,000 potential bots on Twitter. Almost 200,000 people, air quotes, that could all be programmed to tell you vote a certain way, get a certain something jabbed a certain somewhere.
Yep.
Donate to a certain cause. If you convince if you get each of those people and they convince 10 people to donate to something, you've just earned a bunch of money for something.
Twitter
it's crazy.
have stocks.
It's crazy.
In a
Like how can people be? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, if Twitter has stocks in a certain market that they can make billions of dollars on, what stops
like
100,000 of those
right?
accounts sharing about it?
Yeah, tell people that things are going to go a certain way. It's crazy. Like, no wonder like society is so schizophrenic. People don't know how to even discern reality from agenda anymore.
Yep. It is absolutely crazy.
This is like why if I ever get the whole idea, not Jordan, I've mentioned this to you before, that if we ever could get the whole thing of our own version of Rooster Teeth going and everything, if anything, I would only have you guys sign out a freaking contract for like a few months or whatever. Even though I know most yous wouldn't leave. At least I know you wouldn't leave unless something happened. Jordan, Joseph, I would still let you do your freelance shit on the side, but
Goddamn right.
You're gonna be my iffy.
It would just be one of those things where you could still do your freelance shit, but freaking at least let me know ahead of time if you're not gonna be able to show up to work.
Yeah. No, I mean I've always said this since day one, is document contracts. Those are so valuable to have. And it's like if I ever sign a contract, I'm committed to a contract and I don't break contracts. I still can't work for certain places like Amazon or the security company I worked for another year still because I signed a contract. I can't do it. They had a 3-year lease on me pretty much. I can't work for Amazon. I can't work as a security officer anywhere else. So the contracts you sign for a reason, and it does affect your life because this contract is a serious thing. And the only way to get those lifted is by signing other documentations. But always get an attorney. Before you sign shit, get someone smart to look at it. I think that's pretty fair to say. Get an intelligent friend who has at least 5 more functional IQ points than you. Get him to read it. That's why Joseph looks over our description. I'm not lying, chat. I really am not. I send it over to him.
You said what I was thinking. I'm like, do I owe Jordan a lick right now? Did I do it?
Yeah.
No, he just did it for me. All right.
Dude, I'm 7 IQ all day, every day. All day, every day. When I DM you a sentence and I send it and I'm looking at it going, why did I say the same thing twice? Why did it literally say at the beginning of, and I'm like, I typed that. I put that in there. Man, that's why he looks over our descriptions. Like a massive difference. Yeah,
that's why I offered to do it.
Yeah, you weren't being an ass or nothing. You were like, hey, just saying, there's some typos. I could fix it for you. I was like, oh man. And before it was like me not wanting to admit that I'm not great at spelling, but I can't even read. Yeah, I will give it to someone who does. It makes more sense. I remember words. I can't sound it out. People say sound it out. I'm going, okay, I'm sounding it out. And then people are like, oh, what? The E is silent. Then remove the fucking E. If the E is silent, don't put it in there. I don't need to be over there reading something. Then you're going, E is silent. Leave it. Just don't put it in. Don't put the E in. Whoa, that's how it's spelled. I don't care how it's spelled. If it was silent, don't tell me to sound it out. Yeah, so I failed every kind of class I've ever taken. But, Google Translate helps a lot. But I will say, in other topics we got today is Halo is back in the news. Charles, take it away, you sexy bastard.
I was freaking excited about the week before and why I wish we did these things more than once a week. But because apparently 343 has decided to do something you rarely ever see. They decided to dig into the freaking files upon files of freaking scrapped ideas and other things that Bungie had left them. And they were like, let's freaking take Bungie's shit, work on it, and hire a bunch of modders to make it freaking usable, and throw it into freaking a PC version of Master Chief Collection. Specifically freaking like old armors, weapons, vehicles, and I think a campaign mission or two in Halo 1 and 2's case.
Yep.
It's like all these assets are literally just scrapped ideas of stuff that they were going to put in Halo 1 and 2, but they weren't able to because they didn't have the time. Or freaking, at the time, freaking technology wasn't anywhere near as good as it is now. So they had to. And I'm especially excited if they can get that freaking Halo 2 E3 demo working where we can play it on, even if it's on PC. Because I want to freaking play it! That's, from what I've heard, though, it's been hell for them, even with the modders and everything. Because there's so much shit that they still had to freaking fix and work on with that demo, because there was so many problems with it, even back to this day, they had a lot of problems. There's a reason why that demo wasn't what was in the final game, because I literally read somewhere once that they literally didn't stick to the path they took in the demo, and they showed it, the whole thing would have freaking crashed.
Yep.
That's the kind of problems that they were dealing with back then, and what they're trying to fix now. I'm looking forward to being able to play around with all this stuff from Halo 1 and 2. As there's some of this stuff from my scene, and I can't wait to see the Macworld armor and everything, and the original design of the elites, which they're going to be putting in Halo 1 and 2 as well. Along with other vehicles and weapons and everything, whatever. I just can't wait. They can take as long as they need to get it to work and everything. I'm just looking forward to being able to play around with it all. So is everyone else.
Definitely.
Especially
and
the Halo 2 E3 demo mission.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great, and the links to this will be in the description. Same with the Elon Musk topic. It will all be in the description if you guys want to see it yourself. This comes directly from Halo Waypoint. Thanks to Charles for adding in the links. So yeah, you can see all the art. I would say we could put it up on screen. Editor, give me some text.
Look, as long as it's not what was it, like a 1993 Camry or something like that. Then,
That's 99 at most.
I mean, however, just saying, if they were popping up on the screen as we are discussing it, it would be cool. If not, just tell me the F right off on the screen.
Feeling charitable.
Hey, editor, what's here? What's right here, editor?
He just puts it like a shit emoji
what's right here?
Pants.
What's here?
So just ate a shit emoji.
What's there? I don't know. I should really not do that, but yeah.
Because you might end up unintentionally making it seem like you're eating a pile of shit emoji.
That honestly is a lot better than what went through my head. I was thinking something to do with a alien.
I thought you were thinking about a dick.
I was, Daddy gotta eat.
I'm gonna do something.
Oh God! I hope I got your creative juices flowing.
I'm gonna do dick sucking. Okay, I'm gonna
do that. Canceled one of these days for these freaking jokes that we make.
But before we get canceled, though, yes, you are right. They are going to try to hire modders and everything else. It looks like they're going to use some of the guys who they previously used, and they're going to use people from the Halo Waypoint community to assist on it. And I'm so amazed that they have the files. Like, that is something that amazes me, because I mean, I'm a content creator, and I can't tell you how many times I lose files or files just go missing, and they have all these files still to where they can grab it and going, let's do something with this. Let's make something out of this. And it's smart for them now, because not saying Halo Infinite was not as big of a success, but it's not in the top played charts for a reason. I'm not going to hate on it because I still have yet to play the campaign. I'm not a big multiplayer in Halo fan past certain Halos, but when it's all said and done, I haven't played the campaign because I refuse until they put multiplayer in. So whenever they do that, I'll actually play it. But I think this is a smart idea because I feel like they could actually sit there and sell this as a brand new game option on Halo Waypoint, on PC, slowly convert it over to Xbox and stuff like that. But they could sell this as a DLC add-on for the Master Chief Collection if you have the Season Pass, and then unfortunately you got screwed, Microsoft. But I feel like they could do something with this because, like you're saying, you would love to play it. I would love to play it, especially with some of these cool vehicles that look like there's something out of Star Wars. Like, this looks so cool, and it's like, different weapons to different armor shapes. It looks like the Marines were supposed to be having a different kind of armor placement. There's like a weird SMG looking thing. Like, it would be so cool to sit there and actually see that in Halo. I would pay easily, honestly, if it was a remake of Halo 1, Halo 2, and they were like, hey, remake all this, $60. You get to play the campaign, but all this stuff is added on separately. I would pay the $60 for those two games combined. $60 easily. I would pay for it 100%.
I just wonder if the battle rifle is going to be semi-auto when they do finally completely finish that in that E3 demo mission into the game. Or is it still going to be burst?
I think it's gonna be burst. I think they're gonna keep it burst just because that's how it's been.
In the demo, it was semi-auto. It had the assault rifle's reload animation.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna change that. Like, I could see them doing a lot of changes, but I think for what they're gonna do, they're gonna keep some things that are already kind of there and maybe update it in the future, or give you an option to change it. Like, maybe hit left on your D-pad and you switch it. Because
it would be nice to actually have an option to be able to change the fire mode for the battle rifle for the first time, because it is supposed to be able to be fully auto. Same with the DMR if the Halo series, Paramount series has shown anything, and it even says on the Halo wiki that they can be switched, giving firing mode, but we never get that option in the games.
Exactly. So I think if they were able to find a good way, not a half-ass way, if they can find a good way to make it to where you can switch it, there are buttons that aren't used on a controller, make it to where for the battle rifles and stuff like that, when you're zoomed in the scope, you can switch it. Hit a button when you zoom into your scope, switch it. Make that happen. If it's outside of the gun, you can't do it because buttons are already taken. But when you're zoomed in, you can't throw a grenade. You can't throw a grenade when you zoomed in. You can't turn on, or you can turn on your helmet, but like, you can't use a grenade. You can't do certain things. You can jump, you can crouch, all this stuff, but there's still so many other buttons you can use. Just make it to where you like hit down on the analog stick. Boom, there you go. Now you can zoom, or now you can change it whenever you're doing that. Doesn't have to change an animation. Doesn't have to do any of that. Boom. I just helped you out. 3, 4 Halo. I helped you out. Send me some money. Forget your modders. Send me money. Send me money. I deserve it. I've been a good boy.
I just feel bad for those people because that mission was so busted and broken and freaking. I'm amazed that they even were able to show the entire mission from start to finish at E3 when they first showed it without it having issues.
I remember watching the whole thing. I don't remember it being that long. I remember it ending with Cortana going, bet you can't stick it. You're on. And then he...
Just probably, I really hope we actually get to freaking try at that part after that cutscene. We have like half a dozen elites surrounding it, and we have just a plasma grenade in one hand and an SMG in the other.
I like to say your Master Chief voice was almost there.
Thank you.
There. Yeah, good job.
Better than the fucker that's fucking playing as him in the freaking Halo Paramount series.
Honestly, that guy's not even Master Chief. Like, that guy, when you don't wear the armor more than what you're shown in there, you're not Master Chief. Like, I was listening to the Rooster. Yeah, Master Cheeks. I mean, apparently he be fucking. So I mean, I don't know. No spoilers, but I think Master Chief gets down. If you know what I mean. Audio listeners are pointing at my penis. Don't want to make sure that is clear. But, you know, when it's all said and done, though, the Paramount series is obviously not canon. Everyone knows that.
Thank God!
But they do have a lot of ties. They know a lot of things in the Halo series. They do make it shown. So they do know their knowledge.
At times it reminds people of Halo.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, this is kind of like Halo. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you know, the guy who's in the back room with all of his armor taken off, that's supposed to be Master Chief, okay? That is supposed to be him. I thought it was so funny.
The Covenant, that's when it's Halo.
Yeah. But I thought it was so funny. There is a guy, actually it was in an achievement hunter, now I'm thinking about it. At the end of Halo 4 where you get to see the Master Chief, like just a little bit of him, you get to see him, his eyes. And the first thing the one guy said, his name's Alfredo Diaz. He been playing his whole game thinking he was black. So all you hear is like them going, "Oh yeah, we can see the end." Oh, and then he takes his helmet off. All you hear Alfredo say, "Wait, he's not black." And I was like, you know, I was like, you could I kind of thought he was. Of course, I've never actually watched. I don't watch cutscenes besides the first time I play them. So I just like skip through them. If I'm streaming, people hate it because I'm like, gosh, show content. And if I feel like if I'm just watching a show and not commentary on it, I'm like, I'm just an asshole. I'm just like going over here going, yeah, guys, welcome to my stream. Let's do this. And I'm just sitting there going, okay. And
it's so amazing. You were for the most part quiet while I was just freaking talking over the legendary ending of Halo 3.
Well, because you're talking. I'm not gonna interrupt you. I'm not a bastard. And also I think I was just looking at going, man, look at all those deaths. So by the way, for those viewers, and since we're still on the Halo topic a little bit, so we're gonna be doing some Halo ODST this upcoming Sunday. And I sat there and told Charles, I was like, hey, you want to make it more difficult? Let's put on the skull that makes it every time you die, it brings us back to the checkpoint instead of letting us just get to a safe location. Because that would make it hard, but still make it pretty reasonable.
And it's also what fucked us over. It freaking took us so long to beat Halo 2.
But this man says he's better than me, and he doesn't want to do it. And then he's like, no, let's do it where explosions are bigger. That seems right.
And I'm like, back.
Yeah, and then make it to where we have to hit guys to get our health back. No, you know what this guy's gonna do? This guy's just gonna be like, oh, look at me. I don't have shields. I'm gonna go out and die and get my shields back because you're over here hiding in the corner. Yeah, so we can actually spawn, you know, so we can actually keep going on the fight. You're just sitting back in the corner. What are you doing? I'm over here making sure that we can actually keep progress going so we don't respawn. And you're like, okay. This makes sense. You're just a bitch. And I'm like, dude. And Charles is now British. he has turned British for the Let's Play. Whenever it happens on Sunday, you're just going to hear him going, oh, all right. I'm assuming that how everyone sounds. Sorry for anyone that's offended.
It's going to be hard enough as it is, because I've tried beating it on Legendary once before, and it was a thing.
I think... I'm going to say right now, you're going to hit 200 deaths. I'm going to say right now, you're going to hit 200.
Right.
I'm going to say right now.
This is why I'm glad I think that these days I pretty much just play my mobile game. It's like, you know what? I want peace. That's what I want. I've paid my dues.
I downloaded Angry Birds on my phone, and that has been the game to go to. I've just been playing nothing but Angry Birds. Whenever like I'm in the passenger seat, that doesn't happen anymore since I got my license. But would be in the passenger seat. I'll be playing Angry Birds. Like me and Brendan are eating dinner. The ads go on Paramount Plus. 'Cause I'm not paying the $5 extra for no ads. It's 90 seconds long. I get a game of Angry Birds in, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's Angry Birds. Gotta get those birds not angry anymore." And she's like, "Okay, whatever." But I only have 2 mobile games on my phone. One is a wooden Sudoku. So it helps your brain.
Woodoku?
Yeah, Woodoku.
Yeah, I've seen ads for that one. That one looks good.
Yeah, it's a tons of fun. Helps your brain, stay on track. And then I have Angry Birds. According to Google, I have played already more hours in Angry Birds than what I have with the Woodoku. And I'm like, ooh. Wonder why.
Listen to me, everybody. Listen to me.
Yes. Daddy.
Get a game that plays itself.
Flappy Birds?
Because I don't think Flappy Birds plays itself.
No.
I think you don't. I don't think you get very far if you let Flappy Bird play itself. I've had Battle Legion for about 2 years. Now I still have to interact with it. I still have to place units. I still have to be precise about timing but then the game, it's just so entertaining to just let the game do its thing. I can just sit and enjoy it for I'm on the bus, on the toilet. I made a rule that when I'm eating meals, I'm gonna start reading instead, just to like get off screens and get some literature as
Okay.
part of my daily fix. So I made that as a
Look
rule.
at me, I can
But
read.
it's Harry Potter, bro. Like, who doesn't come across as pretentious when it's compared to?
Yeah, fair.
I've had the game. I mean, So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've got the game running right now. I've been playing the fucking game this entire episode. In fact, I'm playing this game every episode that we've
Yep.
done for like.
You brought it up about like 2 months ago. You're like, yeah, I mean, I'm playing right now, and I'm like, yeah, sure. But I know where your eyes go, and I'm like, this motherfucker's still playing. And I thought about every time he plays, I shoot a message on Discord just saying hi. So every time I know he's like looking down at it, I just go hi and send it. The problem is my phone goes to sleep. So I keep having to go going over to my phone, being like, and I'm like, fuck, it doesn't work. I even got a tripod for it and everything. I was ready for this. I was 100%
That's too bad, too,
gonna
because it
stop
would've
you from playing
worked.
on your phone. And no, then because I know if a lot of people, if they realize that that what they're doing, they stop. They're like, okay, but when we're on a budget like this, we don't care. We don't care. We're here to make content. If that is to play on your phone while making content, guess what? It's what it is. But we
I was always very good at like splitting up my
yeah.
my resources. Like even when I was in college and we had to take some like elective courses that didn't have to do with our program, so it was like sociology and stuff like that. I was just drawing comics, but I was still listening to the teacher. I was still asking questions. I was still participating. I just the way my mind works is that my eyes have got to have something to do, and my ears have got to have something to do.
Yeah.
And if they can't be doing the same thing, then they'll just be doing two separate things.
Okay, I get that. So if you would have brought that up to me when I was like 12, I would have told you like you're crazy. I can only focus on one thing at a time and not do anything. But even like when I'm streaming or I'm doing something else, there's always something going on in the background, so I have multiple things to do. Or whenever I'm magically taking time for myself, like I've been trying to get back into Magic the Gathering. It's an expensive hobby, but I've been trying to get back into it and play some Magic and stuff. And so I'll be listening to like yesterday, I had to get the podcast ready to go. I'm listening to the podcast. I'm putting my decks together. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm listening to it, and I have a video on the screen showing me like the history of Kansas and how it was discovered and how it's doing this. So I have the podcast going for audio. I have like this map layout of like how it's showing things are going and how things are slowly building or my personal favorite is I'll grab like a 24-hour video of like Japan or China, someone walking through those places. I love it.
I like those.
I love it.
Those are neat.
And it helps my brain keep focused on one thing because, like, cool, I'm focused on this. Podcast going over here. Nice scenic views here. And I'm like, it's great. But if it's a mountain, like, someone's like, oh, look at this mountain in the sky. I will click off in 5 seconds. But a city, there's so much going on. People walking around. You're like, ooh, is he going to bump into this person? And the camera's so smooth, too. It's like, I think that's what I love the most about it is, like, how smooth it's just, whoa. I'm like, oh. Like it goes back into the weird, satisfying ASMR stuff. Like I just love how smooth it is. And the audio, I mute it. I don't want to hear dong 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 dong. Like I don't want to hear that.
There's something very peaceful and serene about cars honking their horns, but like way off in the distance. Like if it's like 8 blocks away and you just hear like the very gentle, that's actually like.
Makes you feel you're there.
It's warming. It's comforting.
See, if it was like actually like you could hear things going around like while they're walking around. And there are some, they're usually like live streams, but there are some that you can actually click on and you hear like the day-to-day life going on around them. Those are good to watch. I will usually put them on my TV because I bought a 8K TV at my living room. I put it to use by only playing 8K stuff. Let's be okay. Okay, I'm gonna have people nail me for this. It's not all 8K video because YouTube doesn't support 8K. They don't even support 4K. They fucking lie to you. I understand. It's 2K. Okay, and even then, your hertz aren't even the same that qualifies for it. I get it. I understand. One day YouTube's gonna have their 4K option actually be 4K. Until the day happens, no. Just blabbing out all YouTube secrets. No, that's actually a thing though. YouTube said like in 2018 or like 2016 they were gonna fully support 4K, and they put all these systems in place, and they still don't actually support 4K.
So you're telling me I haven't actually seen a 4K video even though I've selected it?
On YouTube, no. Even if you change it in the settings, if you hit when you're on a YouTube video, you can hit stats for nerds, and it gives you like these specs and everything. None of it adds up to 4K. Like the image quality would be like 1420. That would add up, but nothing else in the specs actually add up to it. Or it's something stupid like 8K or 4K, but it's 30 FPS, even though it was taken 60 FPS or 90 FPS. It's like, it's 30 FPS because YouTube can't fully support it. So yeah, no, it's a weird thing that YouTube has implemented that they cannot fix. They have the ability to fix it, but they're not, because it puts so much more strain on their servers. So I understand, especially when people are uploading, 24-hour videos of 4K footage. I get it, put stress on your servers.
I can live with 1080p. Like, yeah. I really don't go up past that very often, and especially if I'm like only passively watching something. If I just have like lo-fi radio on, which I love, by the way, that stuff is on 240p. I'm just listening to music that's deliberately lower quality because it's called lo-fi radio. So like I'll have that on. Okay, yes, I'm gonna pay the same amount of money on my internet bill. I could have it higher, but
what's the point?
I just don't have to. So why would I put the strain on? It's self-governance, people. It's about like just do something that's optimal, even if you're not getting anything out of it, because that's how people should be doing things.
I
it's a weird thing to get worked up over, but yeah.
Well, it's like even recording sessions, like we're only recording in a 6,000 bit, and I could be recording this up to like 10 to 12,000 bits a second. The problem is why? Why record it that much? It just takes so much room. It takes so much priority on the computer itself, because the computer now has to put every fucking megapixel on the screen, have it broadcasted right. It's like, don't put the work on all of that when I could just 6,000 bit, 1080p, 60 FPS, totally fine. It's manageable. I watch videos when I put like the podcast on, it plays back in like 720. I don't care. I just want to listen to it so I know what to put into the description.
Mm-hmm. what to separate I was showing Jen Spy Family, which is not only my new favorite anime, but like my new favorite show. And I still have like a few more days left on my Crunchyroll account. Mm-hmm. But Crunchyroll, as far as I know, doesn't have a built-in app on the TV, or even one that I can install. I would love to be wrong about that. So I have to go onto a web browser, load up Crunchyroll web browser, and play it. And at max settings, it kept lagging. Like it kept having to do the loading, the buffering thing. So I lowered it to 720p, still happened. I lowered it down to 480, hadn't happened. So okay, this is fine. And I tell you what, I barely noticed the difference between 480p and 1080 and 1080p.
Do you think you didn't notice it because the quality was shot in such a high resolution?
I don't know. It might just be this, like, remember, like, it's one thing to try to capture reality. It's another thing for it to be an anime, right? It's like, okay, the art is excellent. So I think as long as I don't go below that, it should be okay. But at the same time, like 720p, I don't think I was being unreasonable. No. To watch that without interruptions. Yeah. So you dropped the ball, Crunchyroll, and you're paying your translators like shit. So fuck you. I'm sailing the high seas. I thought I was doing the right thing by supporting them, but like from what I see, they pay their translators dirt, and that's no West Buenos. So
fair enough. Yeah. So I keep hearing a lot of good things about Spy X Family. Now I want you to tell me in such a short sentence, what is it about, and should I watch it in the shortest way you can?
Shortest way I can. Okay.
Yes. I'm interested.
Okay, I just want to ask you one thing.
Okay.
What's more important to selling you on it? Do you need to hear the plot? Do you need to hear the premise? So not necessarily the story beats, but more like what do you expect out of each episode?
What do I expect out of each episode? If it's a Dragon Ball Z situation where
No,
it's
nothing.
4 fucking episodes before you get to the fight, and then the fight is like 3 minutes long, it's then just tell me no.
Okay. I anticipate, by the way, that this show is actually gonna get a Western remake at some point because it is that good and it's got that much appeal to it.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. 3 characters are all lying to each other, but they've created a family because they all have ulterior motives. One's a spy who needs a pretend wife and a pretend daughter. One's an assassin who needs a pretend husband and a pretend daughter. And one can read minds who doesn't want anybody to know. So the daughter can read the minds of the husband and the wife. And so, like, whatever secrets they're hiding, the daughter knows right away. But she's 4 years old and just think it's all really cool. So she keeps, like, pushing them to do more cool spy and assassin things because she's like, this is awesome. That's so cool. So what's funny about it is you take some of the most lethal and effective people on the planet, like a top spy and a top assassin, and you domesticate them, and that's what makes it funny, is watching them actually try to be like regular people, and even just like going shopping is an adventure for them.
Okay, what country does this take place in?
They're fictional countries. You have Westalis and Ostania. It mostly takes place in Ostania, but the spy is from Westalis. It's an analogy for World War II, so it's basically like England and Germany.
Okay.
Like the capital city in Ostania is Berlin with a T, and the T is not silent. So it's like, okay, well, it's basically a metaphor for trying to prevent like the Cold War going hot. So, but it's still fictional countries.
Okay. Then the last thing would be, should I watch it? Yes or no? You already know my opinions on games and shows, so should I watch it? Yes or no?
Yeah. I think it's got something for everybody. Unless you're immediately put off by anime, then I can't help you. Like I know some people who just like, if it's an anime, they refuse to watch it. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, like I the only show that might get past that particular barrier is Cowboy Bebop. But for everybody else, like if you like action, the action is good. If you like comedy, the comedy is good. If you want something wholesome, it's wholesome. Okay. It manages to blend all of these things together in a way that's natural. And the thing that I'm a big fan of is always like I like seeing writers get challenged. So I like a lot of like elements of gameplay in it. So a lot of times when you're writing comedy, there are rules that you have to follow to make sure that, you know, things are progressing in a way that's funny. So yep. I like watching the writers challenge themselves to create scenarios that keep everything together. So like one example would be the dad wants to take his family out on a trip to the aquarium to make it look like his family is normal, but then he finds out that he has to stop a terrorist from picking up information at the aquarium. So it's like, are you kidding me? At the aquarium, for God's sakes. So he's trying to do both at the same time. So you have like the crisis, prevention side of like trying to save the world, and all the way down to the other of like just making sure your daughter's happy. And so you have those two extremes, and they're constantly going up against one another. So yeah.
Okay.
I almost feel like I feel like a pleb for talking about it because it's past that popularity threshold where I don't feel like I'm special by like, oh, this is such a little niche thing. Oh, that only the most exquisite of taste. Like I feel like I'm a bandwagon jumper, but I'm happy to be on this ride.
I think I'll join you on the ride. It sounds really cool. Like I said, a few people have been talking to me about it, and when you said the name, I went, Oh my god. Like,
Yeah.
and every
I
time
am.
I've asked someone like the question, like, explain to me short, they're like, a spy, assassin, and a psycho bitch. Yes, you should watch it. I'm like, cool, that sounds like every lover I plan to have. It's like, you don't tell me anything else. You're just like, cool, this, no. Or yes. I'm like, how?
You guys are gonna be on a ride. At least make sure to be using your horn.
I'll do that whenever I'm riding your mom. Oh, that's right, boy. That's right. I saddled your mom last night. Ooh, is the sound she made. I don't
Also, be
know.
watching this whenever we play ODST. Do not be surprised if John has a grenade stuck to the back of his head when we start.
It counts as your death. So, you do you, boo. You do you. But yeah, for the anime, I think I'll watch it.
I got one little tiny. This is like a slight aside, but like there's, as far as I know, there's only one other anime that used X in the title, which is Hunter x Hunter. There might be some other ones, but that's the only one that I know of. And people are torn on what the X actually stands for. Some people say it's like Spy X Family. Some people say they don't think they think the X is silent, so they just call it Spy Family. This is where I'm actually gonna get super niche. I think the X is like in multiplication, or in measurement. So I think it's like you're measuring something. It's like 10 by 8 or something like that. So I think the X stands for by. So I think it's in Hunter. It would be Hunter by Hunter, which if you watch that show, it makes sense. So Spy by Family, I think that's my little specific thing that I'm going for.
Okay, right on. Yeah, I think once I'm done, I just finished watching NCIS, the original series. Me and Brittany just finished that. Obviously, this is a show I'm not watching with her. I'm not gonna watch anime with her. She gives me dirty looks when I was watching the Avatar: Last Airbender, so I'm not watching anymore. Dude, she's uncultured. That's all I could say. And I don't have to worry about it because she doesn't watch the podcast, so. But she's gonna watch this one now. But yeah, so once I'm done watching the current shows I'm watching right now, we're on Skinwalker Ranch, the actual History Channel documentary talking about Skinwalker Ranch and figuring out what's actually going on there. Of course, like
Nudist
we watched
colony?
Documentary. What?
Nudist colony?
No, Skinwalker Ranch is a place in Utah, and weird paranormal stuff happens there, and they're diving into it. Like the government has bought the ranch to try to
weird ass freaking body possession, freaking bodysuit shit's going on.
a lot. And
What the fuck are you watching?
porn. No, actually, I got an ad today. It was sitting there like, oh yeah, don't. Are you addicted to porn? And I went, where are you going with this? And then they're talking about, oh, you must have that porn addiction. You got to get it rid of to clean your life. I'm like, I'm now thinking about porn. You realize what you just done to me? Like, I haven't seen porn in like a week. I haven't even watched it. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then it's like randomly an ad pops up going, do you have a porn addiction? I was like, well, now, Pornhub, more like Cornhub. We're going over there. And Cornhub is a thing. All I gotta say, Cornhub is a thing. But yeah, I think I'm gonna, after Skinwalker Ranch, I think I'm definitely gonna dive into it. It's on Hulu, according to this. It shows Stark's Family is on Hulu, or not Stark's Family, Spy Family is on Hulu. So if it is, I'm gonna give it a watch because I have a Hulu subscription, because I'm Gucci, baby.
Watch Ruby Ice Queendom yet?
No.
It's the new freaking anime version of Ruby.
No, I have not yet. I'm trying to narrow down my series because I have so many started right now. I'm trying to like shut them all down and watch all of it so I can actually get to new stuff.
They also released a bit from the first episode of the new season that's coming for Ruby season 9.
Nice.
Apparently at RTX, they showed news for Ruby.
Yeah, that's what I've been currently trying to catch up on, is all the stuff happening at RTX, because I was supposed to be there this year, but yeah, no, the world. So I wasn't at RTX this year. Fuck bastards.
Oh, it sucks for you that you have tickets you can't use now because freaking shit happened.
Nah, I got a refund. 2 years in a row now. I bought tickets, had to get a refund, and it's just.
At least they are nice about getting you a refund.
Yeah, if you don't, so they go through a third-party seller that's pretty much states this: if you don't have the digital ticket the days you're supposed to get it, if you do not claim your ticket, it immediately will send you a refund after the event's over. So here in like a week, I'll get my refund back. But yeah, so it is good that they give it back. But it's the point of being like, man, I want the world to stop going to hell. So I can actually, like, the last live event was in Texas during 2020. That's when it was supposed to happen. I was supposed to be there. I was supposed to be there and be with them, and I wasn't. And I'm like, okay, cool. 2022, they're doing it live again. Let's go. I waited 3 years. Let's do this. And it's like,
We're alive.
no. I was like, okay. Guess it's not happening. But I'll be there next year, hopefully. Maybe they'll actually invite me this time, you know, bastards. I'm gonna meet Jeff one day, and when I do, I'm gonna ask him to spit in my face. What? I gotta use the bathroom so bad, I just don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But since baby gotta pee, Charles, where can people find you?
I like watching whenever I'm actually able to upload something video game related, or whenever I do a live stream for wrestling with my other friends and everything, or whenever I upload something. You can just go to my YouTube channel, CJ the Lone Wolf, which is at 165 subs now.
Oh yeah, nice. Joseph, where can people find you?
No plugs this week. Just go watch Spy Family.
That's great. I love that. You can find this podcast anywhere you search up Skull Hunter Podcast. Let's be honest. You guys are already here. You already know. But if you didn't know, we're in audio and we're in video. So if you're listening on vice versa, go watch. Because, you know, we do stupid stuff on camera. Last week, I tried to light my house on fire. In case you missed that, I posted a little TikTok about it. And where you can find those TikToks is Skull Hunter Games. Anywhere you search up that, you're gonna find me. Even if you type it in Google, you're gonna find me. That's how famous we are. No, I'm not famous yet, but I'm getting there. So you might want to hit that follow now while you still can. Fingers crossed, and we'll all be famous.
I'm not gonna. By the way, I'm just concerned about something. We're not gonna be like Nolan, are we? Because Mr. Beast, he puts his friends through some shit. It's like, that's what this is gonna turn into. I'm not putting up with this.
Don't worry, you will be my Chris. Charles is my Nolan.
What?
You know, no. Charles will be my Chandler. You will be my Chris, and James, the guy who's still out getting milk, will be Nolan.
What?
There we go. You have to watch Mr. Beast. No, my plan is to treat everyone like
Terribly.
the way people should be treating others and make them go through bad challenges. This Halloween, though, oh my god, I have such a great plan. I can't wait to do it. And I guess you guys have to find out next episode, and I will spill the beans. So without further ado, thank you, Anchor, for continuing our sponsorship. Thank you guys so much. No new features. But you've heard them if you're listening on Audio Realm. On video, you don't pay us enough. Sorry. That could change. Anchor.fm or download the Anchor app today. Anchor.fm or download the Anchor podcast. And if you make it on Anchor, you do not have to put an actual ad in your video podcast. We just love to give them a shout out because they honestly have helped us since day one. So we like to give them the shout out they deserve. But thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the podcast. Without further ado, guys, we did it. Another successful one. Go ahead and scream us out. Charles eating a bag of chips. Goodbye, everybody! You're still playing.